Okay, let's be honest. When you're shopping for a new car, what do you look at? In the seats, the fancy leather, right? All those little power buttons? Yeah, we all do it. But here's the thing. We're going to pull back the curtain today and show you that the most important stuff, the parts that actually decide how comfortable you are, and even if you survive a crash, you can't even see.
Does this sound familiar to you? You're sitting in traffic, your lower back starts screaming, and you just think to yourself, wait a minute, I spent all this money to feel like I'm sitting on a concrete block? Trust me, you are not alone. It's a huge problem, and it all comes down to the fact that we've been taught to look for the wrong things in a car seat.
And here's the classic trap we all fall for at the dealership. You hop in, you sit down, it feels super plush, and the salesperson starts talking about premium materials. You're sold, right? But the truth, the real truth, only comes out after you've been driving for about half an hour. That first impression of softness can be a total lie, and by the time you figure it out, well, it's way too late.
So let's get right into it. The best way to think about your car seat is to imagine it's a complex robot hiding under you. Seriously. And every robot needs a skeleton. So we're going to start with a frame, the robot's bones.
Now this isn't just any old piece of metal. We're talking about high-strength steel. This is the absolute core of your safety. Its one and only job is to not bend, not break, and to protect you when the absolute worst happens. It's the silent, invisible bodyguard that you are literally betting your life on every time you drive.
So let's get into the crazy physics of this. A 20G impact. What does that even mean? It means your body gets slammed into that seat with 20 times the force of gravity. To put that in perspective, a 70-kilo person suddenly, for a split second, weighs 1.4 tons. That's the weight of a small car. And the only thing stopping that incredible force from wrecking your body is the seat frame. This is exactly why a weak frame isn't just uncomfortable, it is downright deadly.
Okay, so let's move on to the next layer. If the frame is the robot's bones, then you can think of the foam as its muscles. And just like real muscles, it's not about being all soft and squishy, it's about providing stable, solid support that lasts.
And this right here, this analogy is perfect. A seat that feels like a big marshmallow is great for about 5 minutes, but on a long road trip, your muscles are constantly working overtime just to keep you stable. That's what makes you so tired and sore. A truly good seat is like a great running shoe. It's got a little bit of softness on top, but underneath, it's firm and supportive to keep you in the right posture for the whole ride.
So let's just bust this myth right now. The idea that softer equals better or more luxurious is a complete and total lie. It's just not true. A really premium seat uses what's called dual density foam. That means it's soft on the surface so you get that nice initial feel, but it's much firmer underneath to actually support your skeleton. So please don't let that showroom sofa feeling fool you.
All right, next up is the part we all see and touch, the trim. You can think of this as the robot's skin. And it's not just there to look pretty. It's about how long it'll last, whether it can breathe, and believe it or not, even your health.
And whoa, look at that price jump. It's massive, right? Now you can see why so many cars use synthetic leather. It kind of hits that sweet spot between looking good and not breaking the bank. But here's a little secret. I would take a really high-quality fabric seat over cheap, plasticky fake leather any day of the week, especially in the summer. And that Alcantara, it feels amazing. But yeah, that price tag is just out of this world.
And this is really, really important. You know that new car smell that everyone loves? Well, a lot of the time it's actually toxic chemicals, VOCs, leaking out of cheap plastics and glues. When your car sits in the sun all day and gets super hot inside, you're basically sitting in a little chemical oven. Quality seats from good suppliers use much better materials to keep this from happening.
Now we get to the robot's armor. These are the safety systems that are literally built right into the seat itself, just waiting to fire off in a fraction of a second to save you.
These three things right here are your absolute last line of defense. That headrest, it's not for leaning on, its job is to stop your head from snapping back and causing whiplash. The pre-tensioner yanks you back hard into the seat milliseconds before an impact. And this is so critical. A lot of side airbags deploy directly out of the seat. That's why you should never, ever put on those thick aftermarket seat covers. They can literally block the airbag and stop it from saving you.
Okay, so we've taken the seat apart. Now, let's take apart all that marketing nonsense. Salespeople just love to throw around these fancy-sounding terms to make a seat seem way more special than it actually is.
Let's just be real for a second. Zero gravity is just a marketing name for a certain angle of recline that spreads your weight out. That's it. Aviation grade, it means absolutely nothing. There's no standard for it. And the massage?
Come on. It's usually just a few little motors that vibrate or some airbags that inflate and deflate. It might feel okay, but it's not a massage. Don't let them charge you extra for fancy name.
So where does your money actually go when you buy a car? Look at this. On a typical mid-range seat, the frame and the safety parts, the stuff you can't even see, make up almost half the cost. That's all the engineering, the crash testing, the stuff that really matters. The foam and the cover, what you actually see and feel, is only about a quarter of the price.
And the price difference between car classes is just staggering. I mean, the seat in a luxury car can cost 10 times more than the one in your average sedan. And that extra money isn't just for fancier leather. It's in the stronger frame, the more advanced foam, the better adjusters, and all the integrated safety tech. You really, truly get what you pay for.
And, this all boils down to one really important question. Is that thing you sit on for hours every single week slowly wrecking your back, or is it actually protecting it? Because the impact on your health in the long run is just enormous.
This chart says everything you need to know. Just sitting down and slouching in a bad seat puts 50% more pressure on your spine than just standing up. But look at this. A good seat with proper lumbar support can actually reduce that pressure to less than standing. Think about that for a second. The right seat doesn't just stop you from getting pain, it actively helps your spine.
All right, we've gone through the tech, we've busted the myths, we've looked at the science. So, what do you actually do with all this information? Well, here you go. This is your practical, no BS guide for the next time you set foot in a dealership. This is your game plan. Number 1, insist on a longer test drive. After 30 minutes, you will feel what that seat is really about. 2, ignore the marketing words. Just trust your body. How does it feel? 3, if you drive for more than an hour at a time, adjustable lumbar support is mandatory. It's a non-negotiable. 4, never ever compromise the safety features that are built in. And 5, do a little homework. Go online, check the forums, and see if people are complaining that the seats fall apart after a couple of years.
I really want to leave you with this idea. It's easy to get caught up in things like horsepower and big touchscreens. But what is a car, really? At its core, it's a machine designed to keep you safe while you're moving at incredible speeds. And the seat is the single most important, most intimate connection you have with that entire system. It's what's responsible for your comfort, for your health, and when it comes down to it, for your life. So the next time you're out there shopping, please don't just look at the leather. Look deeper. Understand that robot that's sitting right beneath you and choose wisely.